quality of your partnerships are extraordinary. You've continued as a Red Bull athlete, and that's a very solid relationship with the owner of the company. You've explored your passion for Porsche to the point where you've not only won a world championship for them, you're actively involved with them on a day-to-day basis. There's Boss, there's Rolex, and now there's Mobil 1. So the quality of the people that you associate yourself with is absolute. It's world class at the highest level. Yeah,
I've been very fortunate. I think that having not a choice, but I think it comes with I suppose a long career and working hard at being consistent and being loyal with those partners. And again, with Mobil 1, obviously Porsche, you know, they could pick pretty much whoever they want. But you know, Mobil 1 have been with Porsche for so long, all the motorsport victories, the most winningest motorsport manufacturer in the world when it comes to sports car racing, always using Mobil 1 products. So that's a testament to the products that Mobil 1 have put together, and also just say the other brands I've been involved with, some getting up to 15 years now, you know, towards, you know, with Red Bull and those relationships. And it's about people, and it's about trust, and it's about, you know, they're also love pushing the boundaries. They love finding new ways of bringing extraordinary technology and giving the customer a better experience and making sure that they're the number one in the pack. And that's what you know, all the partners that I have are able to do.
And I mean, I'll just break out a little bit of the conversation on the mobile side of it. So when you think about what they're doing with Porsche and other OEMs all around the world, this is leading edge science that is way beyond the brains that you and I have got, but insane management of wear, friction, performance, looking after engines, combustibility, all of these things that, you know, I mean, it's a science that we mere mortals don't really understand.
That's right, and I think that the opportunity for companies to be involved like Mobil 1 in racing, because that's if you shy away from the competition, then of course you could be average quite fast. And Mobil 1 have always been confident to say, we want to be in the toughest field, we want to win the toughest race in the world, we want to have the best lubrication, we want to have the best opportunity to have the development and work with the people that push them as well. So collectively, the race engineers, the people that want to win car races, and all that technology and all that, you know, ideology, if you like, going through into, you know, a reliable lubrication for your, like I say, for the engines, gearboxes, you know, whatever it is you want to, you know, put in your street car, because it's been tested in the toughest environment when it comes to racing at Le Mans in particular, and Formula 1 as well. Obviously, you know, they're involved in there, which is extremely tough.
Just on the topic of Le Mans, what was it like going back? Because the early days, not long after you'd vacated Australia, you did your Formula 3000 thing successfully, you're in the Benz sports car program, and that turned into a whoops.
Yeah, no, it was a tough time in the end of the 90s with Mercedes. The cars were very dangerous then, aerodynamically they were unstable. There was a lot of cars flipping at that time. Every manufacturer pretty much had one, you know, leave the ground at that time. So they were challenging, and I actually never thought I probably would go back to Le Mans. You know, I was very fortunate to get the Formula 1 or Formula 3000, and as they call it, Formula 2 now, get back into single seaters and then go into Formula 1. I thought during the middle of my career in Formula 1, it's like, you know, I actually wasn't really watching too much of Le Mans, wasn't overly interested in it. But then as I got older and towards the end of my career, I had that sort of fascination towards sort of the authentic race that it is, you know, at night. It's typical, the only way the French can do these events. So
old school, it's pure, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's very old school. It's very French. It's disorganised. It's an event which is, it just runs, and you've got, of course, gentleman drivers in there. You know, you've got a dentist from Miami, you know, steaming around doing his thing, which is frightening. But you know, and then you've got the factory Porsche guy. We're so dialed in, you know, at night at 3 in the morning, you know, absolutely on the limit. So for me, it was tough to go back for the first few days, I suppose, and there were some horrific memories in certain locations of the track. But yeah, quickly got over those and buckled down and had to get the job done.
It brings a wry smile to my face to stop and think about you with your Phase 2 life, doing television, flying, doing all this ambassadorial work. The television thing's interesting because what it's done is it's now put you back into the pool with guys, many of which you raced fiercely against.
Yeah.
You're out there with Seb, you know, you're out there with Lewis in your career, and now you're bowling up to them in your nice Boss outfit and your jacket on with a microphone, playing the game that I've been playing for a while. What's that like? What are they like towards you in that respect? Is they, you know, is there a good rapport? Do they look after you okay, or is there still a bit of needle that lingers?
Really funny, Neil. Yeah. So when David Coulthard was doing some TV work and I was still racing, I said, mate, what are you doing here? Like, just
get out.
How can you do it? And then you can see how it happens actually, because naturally You still love the sport, and it's my job, and as you know, mate, better than anyone, you want to try and bring the audience closer to the sport, let them understand it better, pull the emotions out of what the drivers are going through, the mechanics, the pressure, the timings, the sort of responsibilities that are involved, because people that haven't been in the boxing ring, sometimes they might not get those nuances across, where we can, as ex-athletes and ex-drivers, we can do that. So naturally, I felt in the early days it was always a bit sort of weird, coming up to Lewis and sort of seeing how we're going to get going here. But he was, I mean, it works. It actually works out really well. And I've been again super lucky. Like whenever I'm working here in Australia with Channel 10 or Channel 4 in the UK, it's just fun. Like I just say, guys, let's have fun with it. We are, it's clearly a car racing event. We want to help the people at home enjoy this and give them a great, experience of watching us on TV. It's not about me. I am not going to be saying, I remember back in my day. Yeah. It's about him. It's about the individual and getting him to explain the scenario they're particularly going through in that part of the weekend.
Do you find that even though at the time with Seb, for example, and I remember those days vividly, I remember talking to you about it and being with you on a couple of occasions, that was a pretty intense competition. That was pretty special, in fact. So now with the passage of time, you're doing some media, those guys are still out there playing their game. Has that morphed into a different level of respect and camaraderie? Because in the end, though it was combative, I'll bet you look at that fondly now in many respects.
Of course, yeah. When you're in the boxing ring at the time, obviously you're incredibly focused, you're incredibly tenacious and disciplined, and you put a lot of work in, so you expect results for yourself, and you're not going to be cutting any corners, and whoever's in your way, sometimes it can get, it does get personal, and there can be some challenges on circuit. So now, I mean, Sebastian and I often, we do message each other, we have caught up away from the track, so it's a different relationship, because I'm completely turned that Mark Webber is different now. Yeah. Yes, I still have some competitive instincts, no question about it. I still have an opportunity to see things through a different lens. As I was in that situation, and Sebastian often says that he said, oh, the Rosberg Hamilton one was absolute peanuts. What we went through. Yeah. So I'm going to try and how can I give Seb food poisoning? How can I do something like that? I couldn't do that, but it was pretty tough on the team actually, and you sort of come out through, you come out the other side of that. Definitely better, I think, handling the tense moments of how, the sort of engineering side and the people and the friction within your own team, which is clearly not ideal. You do not want that, but it got to a point where there was sides happening, and that's an interesting point in itself, where management was under pressure. So we all learned something from that.